If you're watching this video, you are likely wondering, is renting to Section 8 tenants a good idea? Or is it a bad idea or something that just might make you miserable? After all, these are low-income renters. What that may bring to mind is rusty bikes and junk on the patios, having to get in someone's face to pay the rent, people who just make domestic violence a weekly habit, or worse yet, not being able to evict those bad tenants easily. But just wait a minute. Some of my clients actually love Section 8 tenants, and that's what they specialize in. They have systems in place, and they choose the very best tenants, and they manage the whole process brilliantly. In this video, I'm going to share with you 6 pros and 6 cons of renting to Section 8 tenants, and be sure to stay till the end where I go over some proven tips on how to rent to them with little or no headache. Hi, I'm Terry Painter, the president of Apartment Loan Store, where we have over 40 multifamily loan programs to choose from. I'm also the author of this book, The Encyclopedia of Commercial Real Estate Advice. Yes, that's a mouthful. This book has over 500 pages on everything from A to Z on the subject, plus some great stories of the successes and failures of my clients, plus 136 time and money saving tips. So let's get into the Section 8 housing program. It's also known as the Housing Choice Voucher Program. And this program is funded by HUD, as you probably know. It's also managed by local housing authorities. Their purpose, their mandate, I should say, is to give low-income renters subsidies so they can have the opportunity to choose where they want to live and hopefully land a much better place to live that is in a safer, better neighborhood. The housing authority pays from all to an average of 60% of the rent. So let's start out by getting into the pros of renting to Section 8 tenants. Pro number 1, if you're renting to blue-collar workers, you are more likely to get the rent on time during a recession. Recessions happen on average every 6 years. During the coronavirus recession, blue-collar workers making less than $15 per hour with Section 8 vouchers paid the rent in full and on time more often than those that did not have vouchers. Why? Firstly, because the housing authority is just not going to run out of money during a recession. Secondly, if the tenant doesn't pay you, you could rag on them to the housing authority. And just keep in mind that it takes 1 to 2 years for them to even get a voucher. So they're not going to want to risk losing their vouchers. Okay, let's go into pro number 2. Vacancy rates are actually the lowest with Section 8 tenants. These tenants tend to stay where they are. They stay put year after year after year. The housing authority will allow you annual rent increases as long as there is proof that rents from your competitors in the neighborhood have also gone up. Then you could raise your rents accordingly. Pro number 3, HUD usually allows higher than average market rents. Why? Because HUD knows that there is a shortage of landlords willing to rent to Section 8 tenants. So they often allow landlords to set the rents at the higher end of the fair market spectrum. Pro number 4, tenants must keep the property in good condition. As landlord, you can inspect the property within 24 hours notice. And the housing authority will actually also do this at least once annually. Renters know that if they trash your place, the housing authority will revoke their vouchers. And once again, that's the last thing they want. Pro number 5, all Section 8 tenants are pre-screened by the housing authority. We're talking about a background check and verification of employment, income, and even cash in the bank. Pro number 6, the unit has to be declared safe and in good condition by an inspector prior to being occupied. So you just don't have to worry about that tenant suing you for property being unsafe. That's just not going to happen. So now let's get to the cons of renting to Section 8 tenants. Con number 1, you are in bed with the government. No, that doesn't sound good. Yes, as you can imagine, there will be a nice spool of red tape. This begins with the lengthy approval process for you and the property. Then you have to be able to show to HUD that you are abiding by all their rules, and there are a lot of rules. Con number 2, annual inspections can be costly. A very thorough property condition report is done, covering all 13 areas that HUD mandates. Of course, the inspectors who do these reports want to earn their keep. It's very seldom that they find nothing wrong with the property. This could be costly or just a bad time for you to make repairs within the 30 to 90 days allowed. Okay, con number 3, a delay in processing your first rent payment. This can take easily 60 days, or if you rent to market rent tenants, you get the rent immediately. Con number 4, a delay in getting reimbursed by HUD for damages. After the unit is vacated, the unit will be inspected, but it can take 60 to 90 days to actually get reimbursed by HUD. Con number 6, Section 8 tenants often need more mothering. That doesn't sound good either. We're talking about complaints from neighbors and other tenants about noise, domestic problems, and as mentioned, junk may be lying around in plain view. If your kids have already left home and you just don't have the stomach for this anymore, Section 8 tenants might not be right for you. I do want to let you know, though, that evicting Section 8 tenants is the same exact process as evicting market rent tenants and should not take any longer. So how do you rent to Section 8 tenants with little or no headache? Number 1, check their rental references thoroughly. My landlord clients tell me that Section 8 tenants with good references from previous landlords are almost always good renters. Number 2, pull each tenant's credit report. Okay, so those tenants that have a minimum credit score of 600 and even better, 640, are paying their bills and most likely are going to be good tenants. Number 3, rent to those who have a job. Contributing by going out or even working at home on a job is going to give them better self-esteem. This leads to them being contributors to society and probably much better tenants. A no-brainer, number 4, is rent to the elderly. They have a tendency to need Section 8 vouchers and they're on Social Security and they make exceptionally good tenants. Number 5, rent to conscientious mothers that express a love for your property because of good schools nearby and safety. The neighborhood doesn't have a high crime report. Lastly, if you're not sure if you have the time or patience for Section 8 tenants, hire a property manager who has the experience and stomach for it. If you like this video, don't be shy. Please leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment below. I'd love to answer your comments and also get some ideas from you on any other videos you'd like me to make on subjects that you are interested in. Thanks.